Hello and good evening. My name is Albert and this is a shower vlog. I think it's kind of really important. Before we start with 3 benefits of coffee, I just want to take 2 seconds, a little bit longer than that, to kind of just chill and be silent for the thing that just happened in El Paso. If you haven't heard, it was an extremely horrific event, and my thoughts and prayers go out to all of the people that lost someone or that were involved in any kind of a loss in that capacity. So, alright, I really had to get that out of the way. It was trending on the news all day today. It was really a sad thing, and so hopefully we can talk about some happier things now with the benefits of coffee. And so I got 3 for you, and I wanted to first talk about what Java means, because all the time I hear people saying, hey, would you like a cup of Java? And then honestly, I knew that it meant coffee, but I wasn't entirely sure that it meant coffee. So I looked it up, and it does mean coffee, and it is a noun. And so, did you guys know that before we get into some of the benefits, that caffeine, the chemical found inside coffee, stuff found inside coffee, is the most commonly consumed psychoactive substance in the world, and that's according to Healthline.com. But I mean, so it's literally considered a psychoactive substance because caffeine alters your mood, and it does so by blocking inhibitory transmitters in your brain, and this causes a stimulant effect, and this improves various aspects of your brain function. And so, one benefit of coffee, now that we kind of know that coffee contains caffeine, and then we also know what caffeine is, but increased energy levels. So that's one of the various mental functions, or that's one of the various brain functions that it can improve. And so, caffeine is not the cure-all drug, and I would never tell anyone, especially someone that doesn't like caffeine, because you can be intolerant to caffeine. It is one of those things that you have to have an acquired taste for, I understand, but it does increase your energy. And so this could be from the average person having a cup of coffee when they wake up in the morning, like myself. I think I have 2 cups of coffee before I really do anything, and so I know that it improves my energy level, and that's why I drink it, and I do think that it helps me think a little bit more clear, and I guess that would be one of the psychoactive side effects, right, is thinking and feeling happier because I've ingested caffeine, which is in coffee. And so that's a reason, that's a benefit of coffee. It's an increased energy level, if you use it as such, I guess. And so, a second benefit of coffee, or just a random fact that I just like throwing in here sometimes, is did you know that Brazil grows the most coffee in the whole world? And it can only be grown in some places. There's a coffee belt, actually, which is basically coincides or travels along with the equator, if you can sort of imagine the equator and then a belt around the earth, and there's that particular geographical region of our planet is where coffee is grown. And so only 2 U.S. states actually grow coffee, and I just remembered that, so I'm not going to quote a source. 1 and 2, I do know that Hawaii is one of the 2 U.S. states that produce coffee. But Hawaii is also right along that area where the belt encompasses, and so it's really cool. Google coffee belt. I think it's really cool. And so another benefit of coffee that is awesome is that it tastes good. And so we kind of talked about if you don't think that it tastes well or whatever, or if you're caffeine intolerant, that's okay. But I think coffee tastes really good. I think it tastes good with or without cream. I think all the different types of bold flavors and stuff, all of it tastes good. I have truly rarely ever had a bad cup of coffee. And when I had a bad cup of coffee, it was like the single cup coffee serving that you pull from the jars. Instant coffee. I really wasn't a fan of instant coffee, but I am definitely a fan of coffee, and so I think that the taste of it is just really good, and that's what I'm saying. Even no sugar, no cream, it's all good. I still really like it. I enjoy it very much. And so this evening, we discussed some benefits of drinking coffee, and we now know that it increases energy levels. We know that Brazil grows the most coffee in the whole world, and coffee tastes good. Or it doesn't, but I definitely think that it does. And so that's how I leave you this Saturday evening. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for the followers. I hope we continue to get more and more followers so that, like I said, we'll have 1 million people all in the shower at one time. And I think it'll be awesome. But can't do that without you guys. I appreciate you. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. And once more, my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to all the families that were affected by this evening's truly horrific incident. So have a great evening and enjoy your Saturday night. Don't drink and drive. Be safe. Well, hello everyone. Good, fantastic morning. I hope that your Sunday is awesome so far. It's almost noon, but this is a morning shower vlog, and so I wanted to make sure to post it before noon, my time. And Saturday nights, I hope they were all fantastic. I do. My Saturday night was interesting. I won't go too far into it, but I did have a pretty good time. Mostly, and is it still going? Okay, we're going with it. Anyways, today we're talking about, my night last night. So last night, somebody came over, we hung out, she stayed a little while. She never stays long enough, in my opinion, but it's getting better every time, and that's how that went. So, we're actually talking today about ways you can get to know your neighbor. And so, I woke up late. I wasn't as prepared as I normally am, but you must know your neighbor. And I'll tell you why. Your neighbor's good for a few different things, right? They're a good resource, they're a good emergency, and they're a good friend. So, as a resource, a neighbor can provide you with things they have that you don't. So maybe a broom, maybe a dustpan, maybe a cup of sugar. I mean, literally. I don't know if you've watched the movie Friday, but I am Chris Tucker going around to my neighbor's house asking for some sugar. Yeah, because Ice Cube had Kool-Aid and no sugar, remember? And so, yeah, that's, and as a resource, you can also use them, or ask them for, favors, watch my place while I'm in, Santa Fe today, or will you please watch my cat because my girlfriend's coming over, and so, they're a resource. If you're not from the area, you can definitely find out information from your neighbors, like where the grocery store is, or where the closest bar is, or how to get, to a specific part of town, and that's a resource. And so, why wouldn't you use that resource? Why wouldn't you go find your neighbor and then do that, I always have this problem with the shower in here, where the air conditioner's on, and now it's like super cold. And anyways, friends, right? So resource, friend, and emergency. Adding to the friend list in real life. Amazing thing, absolutely wonderful. Who doesn't like to grow their friend list in real life? Honestly. And so, you have a lot in common with your neighbor already. And literally, we're talking about neighbors. I mean, you live right next to each other. You see each other a lot. You have to be mindful of their living situation and respectful so that you're not all wild and crazy and things. And you're civil. And so, all of those things are pretty redeeming qualities that you look for in a friend. And I think it's really cool when you're able to befriend your neighbor, because it's like, wow, you have a resource and you got a friend now. And that's better than a resource any day. I mean, because the friend comes with caring and more than just being a resource. And so they develop these types of relationships, definitely do evolve and develop into other things. And so resource, friend, emergency. We kind of touched on that just a little bit a minute ago, but it's crucial, all right? I mean, I've been in situations where I've locked myself out of my apartment, and I don't know if you guys watched that vlog. That this is not body wash. Long story short, right across here, I lived there for years, a long time. Recently, I come home, I locked my keys inside the house or my apartment, and I was able to ask my neighbor for assistance in an emergency. So I was able to seek out his resource. I was able to extend a hand in our friendship to make it stronger, and it was an emergency. So I remember that day, we live on 2 floors, and so there's a way to get into the apartment if you've lived here and you know more or less where you're going, and that's if the windows aren't locked. But anyways, he actually let me go into the old apartment, into his place, into my old apartment, and navigate my way into the apartment from the outside of his. And so I thought that was super cool. If it hadn't have been for that, I would have had to wait, I'm sure, hours for a locksmith after the approval of the locksmith being sent from the coolest property management company here in Albuquerque. So it's like, whatever. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about really ways that you can get to know your neighbor. Use them as a resource. Befriend them. Emergency time comes, you have a resource, you have a friend. Execute. And so, knowing those things, I hope that you at least say hi to your neighbor. I don't know how many times I've lived in places in my life where I don't even get a hi, and we have too much in common to not give each other that much of our time. You feel me? Like when you live next to each other and stuff, really, there's too many common objectives that you guys should share as neighbors that should prevent a lot of those issues, or not issues, but make it a happier time and get to know your neighbor. I'm Albert, this is a shower vlog, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you this evening. Relax, work hard or play hard, and that'll be all for right now. Alright, bye.